안녕하세요, Minah입니다. Okay, so recently I've been getting really into looking at apartment tours and stuff like that again, and I absolutely adore it. I love looking at other people's places when they are tidied up, and especially if they're in places that I want to live, like Tokyo and Seoul. I just love that stuff. But the only thing is, very often they don't mention how much they pay each month, and I get that. Like, not a lot of people want to talk about their own personal economy, but I really want to know, because if I want to live there someday, it's nice to know kinda how much money I'll need to be able to do that. So I figured, what if people want to know the prices of living in Norway, and here I am. So today I'm going to be talking about prices for renting apartments and rooms in Oslo, specifically. Well, not specifically, but I'm going to be using Oslo as my reference point, because that's usually where I've been looking up the most, and also because Oslo is the most expensive. So if you got that as kind of like your benchmark, then you can expect other cities to be slightly less expensive and keeping the same standard of living. So I think it's a good point to start off with. I'll also be focusing on stuff that is downtown, like in the center of the city, and not stuff that is really far away. So let's just get started, I guess. There are two kinds of living situations that will probably be the most like relevant to you, and that would be living in like an apartment just by yourself, just renting an apartment, and then we'll also be renting just a room in like an apartment complex, or just home sharing basically, where you and up to like a bunch of other people are sharing the living room and the kitchen and the bathroom, but you got your own bedroom. I'll start out by talking about the renting a room, because that's what I feel like most people start off with doing, especially if they're students. In Oslo, you can expect to pay about like 5,000 to 7,000 for a room, and that I think will include electricity. In smaller cities like my city, you can find stuff up to like, well, down to like 3,500. Say like in smaller cities outside of Oslo, if you just want a room, then you can think about maybe like a 4,000 would be a good like benchmark for you to keep track of. Like that's like a general thing that you might be paying. But in Oslo, you will probably be expected to pay at least 5, maybe 6, up to 9. But at that point, I think you can just start looking at apartments, because apartments are not that far up ahead. Actually, that's a little dumb to say. It depends a lot on your economical situation. Now, the stuff that's gonna vary your price up are generally how big your room is, and how good the facilities of the rest of the apartment is, and also how good the location is. Those are like the things that will kind of fluctuate or lower the price for you. I will say for rooms, then like maybe 50-50 electricity will be included, and then Wi-Fi and television will usually also be included as well. And they are very often at least partially furnished. Like sometimes you get like basic furniture, like a bed and maybe a closet and maybe a small desk. And then if you want anything else, you're gonna have to supply that yourself. And then other times they will be completely unfurnished. This varies a lot. The good thing about this though is that usually you can get a very good location for a very good price. It's just that you're gonna have to share it with people that you don't know. The amount of people you'll be living with will usually not be more than 3. Like very often, like if it's privately rented out in just a room in an apartment that you will share, that will be maybe like 1, 2, or maximum 3 roommates, generally not more than that. And very often there will be like, this is only for girls, because girls want that, I guess. I never really seen anything that's only for guys, so that's a thing. But yeah, another option for you if you're gonna be a student, and if you're gonna be a student at a university, is that you can apply for a room with an organization called Studentskipnaden. This one is in all of the major cities as far as I know, and basically they are an organization that are working to get good offers for students under like the major universities, and they are basically the most of the big ones. With those, you can actually think of paying maybe like 3,000 to 5,000 for a room, and that is a really good price, by the way, and that will include electricity, and that will include, well, most of your other expenses actually. That does usually mean that you will have to share kitchens with like 8 other people or stuff like that, but very often you will get your own bathroom. Like what you actually get varies, and that is also kind of what's gonna make the price go up and down, but that is a good like ballpark. You will be paying maybe 3,000-4,000 for all of it. It's just a really long waiting list, and also like there's such a high demand and not enough rooms and stuff like that. So if you want to try to apply with that, first of all you gotta get into one of the bigger schools, and then you gotta apply, and then you're gonna hope that it goes well. But international students are prioritized higher, because, you know, they're international, so yeah. Alright, let's move on to apartments, which is what I usually prefer. Not that I have lived in all that many, but you know. I think with apartments you can think of 10,000 kroners to be a good starting point per month. Usually if you rent an apartment by yourself, I would say about 80% of the time you're not gonna have electricity included, but if you're gonna have Wi-Fi and TV included, that's about 50-50. The reason for that is very often like apartments, especially if you got like an apartment in the basement, they will have their own like meter to kind of measure how much electricity electricity you use. But typically in Norway, when you pay for Wi-Fi and you pay for TV, then you get unlimited amounts of it per household. So let's say I ordered to have a TV in my home, then I can just order an extra like TV box, and then they'll all go under the same subscription without paying anything more. So that's kind of why TV is very often included. When I say 10,000, that is mainly like thinking of Oslo kind of thing, and that's usually like 1 bedroom or no bedrooms, like a studio apartment. If you want to move up to like a 2-bedroom apartment, then I'm thinking you're gonna have to go up to like 12, 13, 14,000 per month, including, well, not including anything really, but plus electricity. But the good thing about that is that if you have a friend that's also gonna go and study with you, then you can apply for an apartment with 2 bedrooms, because the price jump is not that big. Sometimes it's only a couple thousand actually. Price jump is not that big, so if you have a friend and you want to move to Norway together, then you can get an apartment with 2 bedrooms and you're gonna save money. Yes, you're still gonna be living with someone, but at least you're gonna be living with someone that you know and that you like, and that's a good thing. If you go to like a smaller city though, kind of like my city, which has like 25,000 citizens, then an apartment can be anything from 7,000 up to 12. Like usually that's a good range. You can think if you want like one with like nicer living quality, like good quality and fairly new, maybe 12. That's a good one. 12, you will get a good apartment for 12,000 per month in my city, and that will be either 1 or 2 bedrooms, which is neat. And if you just want something real simple but you want it for yourself, you can get it down to like 9,000. I will also mention that Studentskipnaden, the organization that I mentioned earlier, do also have apartments for couples and families, but those are very few and they are also high in demand. So if you want that, you have to like apply very early, and again you have to get into the good schools. But yeah, they have that as well. They have a lot of stuff. They even have like special conditions for going to the gym, like you get special prices because you're a student and all that stuff. It's just the apartments are not that nice. I'll be completely honest with you. A lot of the apartments or just rooms with Studentskipnaden are not that nice. Like some are, but they're usually a bit further away. If you just want a place to live, it's still good. So, like, it's all you need. I'm trying to think about what else would be relevant to talk about. These are basically the prices that you will be looking at if you want to look for a place to live. I have been thinking of making a video where I teach you how to use finn.no, which is the site where you will be looking, for the most part, looking for apartments and stuff. It is in Norwegian though, but I can at least show you how you can look at pictures and prices, which is probably like a good starting point. And then if you have any other questions or requests, those would be absolutely gratefully accepted. Wait, what am I saying? I would really like your requests, because then I can actually make the stuff that you want to know, and that will be great. This video might have been a little bit rambly, so I'm gonna be putting all the like example prices that I thought of in the description, so look out for that. Subscribe for more videos so you can get to know all the other things that are Norway and travel and living and all that stuff. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please give it a like if you liked it. I don't know why I asked that. I don't like people who ask for likes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it was helpful and that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.